everybody, and welcome to another episode of the SVR Podcast. First of all, how's everybody doing, man? I hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and be sure to be okay with yourselves within the mental health standpoint. Always stay safe. And singularly, if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and let me know in the comments down below who I will be interviewing next. So today, guys, we have someone who I have known this person 4 years ago, back in 2020, from a mutual friend, actually. And he's from Seattle, 21 years old. He's passionate about his music. He's capable of what he does within the music, the production, beats, and his intricacy of rap, So I have along with my co-host, Jelani Moonah. Hi, Jelani Moonah. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Hello, SVR.
Hello, man. It's good to have you once again.
Yes, for the SVR Podcast.
And then we have a special guest for today's podcast. His name is EquiNox. Welcome into the podcast. How are you doing, man?
Good. Hi. Hello. I've been staring directly into the camera to unsettle the viewers. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, EquiNox. Good that you're asking me this. I feel fresh air.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
So, EquiNox, me and Jelani Moonah in the format, we are going to be asking you 10 questions in regards about your humble beginnings and what sparked your interest in making making music and your main inspirations, anything like that. Without any further ado, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. First question that comes in mind is about your humble beginnings, the beginning of you deciding to make music in the first place. What sparked your interest in making music, man?
I've always just been into music, you know what I mean? Like, now that I say that out loud, I don't know if that's really true. When I was little, like I was brought up like super, super religious, and my parents would only put on like really slow, like not even like gospel music, just like really, really low tempo, like just some dude with a guitar kind of just basically talking about religion over a guitar. So like music wasn't really my thing. But then as I like grew up and the people around me were like introducing me to like rap and rock and heavy metal, I was like, this slaps and I want to be a part of it. So like by the time I was in like kindergarten, first grade, I wanted to play the electric guitar and like be in a rock band. And then when I got to third grade, I was still like super into rap, and me and my friend started just like battle rapping, and I just kept doing battle rap for a bunch of years, like just kind of doing like little side battles here and there for like cash or something like that. That's how I made money in like middle school. Like I'd just get like $20-$30 just like on people betting that I would win in a battle rap. So, but then eventually like I started doing like actual rap, and from there I was like trying to rap on like all of these YouTube like type beats. But then I was like, man, I can't afford these beats. Like I don't have a lot of money. Like I have like maybe $50 right now. I'll just learn to produce all of my own stuff. and now I'm a better producer than I am a rapper. So that's how I kind of got started, or that's how I got to where I am, at least.
Mm.
Who are the main inspirations when it comes to your music? Who inspired you to make the music that you make today?
Okay, so this is one of those questions that I like. I've had to like. This is like I've tossed and turned over this question for a while, because like I truly just have like so many different influences that it's hard to really pick one. You know what I mean? Like I have like a playlist that I listen to when I'm driving, and it'll fully go from like mid 2000s Lil Wayne to like 60s like Frank Sinatra to like mid 2012 like dubstep, like vomit step type stuff, to just like 2012 like strange music type of stuff. But I would say that right now my biggest influences when it comes to my like rapping style are Tech Nine, 6 Seconds, Token, J. Cole, and JID. And then when it comes to like melodic stuff, I'd probably throw in like Quadeca or Juice World. But that, like, when it comes to my influences for production, it's also Quadeca. That the man is truly one of the greatest artists of this generation, and I'll say that with my whole chest. But also like Nox Beats, who does not get enough respect. Tommy Profit, that's NF's producer. Omar came up. He's like, he does like a lot of the Shofu and WDFA songs. And then I don't know if you know Eliminate at all. Have either of you heard of Eliminate? He's mostly like a dubstep artist.
No,
I think I've heard about that name before, but I'm not entirely sure.
Not familiar.
Yeah, he has a YouTube channel where he just like remixes the most random shit. Like I learned about him because he did a video where he remixed every Michael Jackson grunt. So, you know, just a kind of a weird guy, but his music is crazy. So, you know.
Mm. Yeah. Understandable. Third question. Have you ever created your own band slash whatever you want to call collective?
No, I have. I've thought about it a couple of times, but I'm just one of those people who is like, I'm not good at like being the head of something or the leader of something. I'm good at like contributing to a group, but I'm not like the main person in the group. I've been in a couple of like collectives, so like way back in the day, like back in it was a little after when we met in 2020, but around like early 2021, I was a part of this collective called the Academy, which was these two rapper producers, NEB and Tommy Guns. Shout out to NEB and Tommy Guns if you're seeing this, man. I love you guys, man. But yeah, it was the main people who I've kept in touch with from there were NEB, Tommy Guns. I don't know if you know Shiesty LKD. I'd post him on my story a lot, but that dude's just like a brother to me. And then Raiden from Raiden's Realm. That's just like a YouTube channel. But yeah, it was just all those guys making music, like bouncing ideas off each other, learning from each other. Was really chill. And then that turned into a a full label called Two Bros Records. So I'm still like kind of affiliated with them just because I'm friends with them, but I'm not like signed to the label or anything. Yeah. And then recently I've been working with this other rap group called Pantheon, which is a bunch of other kind of the academy was kind of like focused on like a hybrid trap dubstep type of sound. Pantheon is a lot of like kind of more lyrical cinematic type sounds, which is good because that's what I'm like good at producing and kind of good at doing. So that has people like I don't know if you know like C2M or Bard or like Sadly Hated or Manzi.
I think I have heard some of the people from that previous cipher. I'm not entirely sure. No.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm like so I kind of like roll with those groups, but never had one of my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jelani, you go ahead. It's your turn.
Yeah. What is your favorite instrument to play and why?
So I don't know if you can see this. I do just fully have like a keyboard here. Like okay. Yep. Okay, cool. That's fine. We're good. It's fine. Yeah, so I know how to play a couple of different instruments actually. Like I did piano lessons for 3 years. I did violin for a couple years. I can do like ukulele. Can't do guitar, surprisingly enough, because it is basically just a bigger ukulele. But like, I'm like, I'll be real. I'm kind of on the shorter side. Some guitars are just like, wow, this is the entire size of my body. I can't reach the strings, you know? So guitar was kind of weird for me. But yeah, piano, violin, and ukulele are all what I can play. But like this, like the MIDI keyboard, like that's got to be my favorite because you can just like do any like sort of piano or like string preset or anything like that. I can do drums on there. Like it's got to be just I guess keyboard is the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is with midis. It's like you could also do like remix covers of based on all the popular songs that we know in the YouTube scene.
Yeah, and I mean like if I had to like say like a definitive instrument, I would probably have to go with like piano. You know, the classic, the thing that's
It's
based on.
soulful.
Yeah, but if I'm talking about like anything that I can get out of this keyboard, then it's like this is such like a basic producer answer, but it's 808s. I love doing 808s, man.
It's basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fifth question. This is a good question to ask because some people that got to see you musically, they might have been a little hesitant about your stage name, about how you put it out there, if it is like some sort of a meaningful way of putting, or is it just something that you come up with and generated stage names on websites out there. So I'm curious, what is the meaning behind your stage name, quote unquote, EquiNox?
Yeah. So I've like whether or not it's actually been the case, I've always felt like I've had this like weird life that's like kind of split into two different worlds. Like I didn't necessarily like grow up in the best circumstances, and like I'm really kind of like blessed to be where I am now and like have the friends that I have now and stuff like that. But there is there is always like that kind of like that constant back and forth like balance of like I'm still a part of like the all of the weird, shady stuff that I was a part of, like that I grew up around and into. And I still have friends that are like, I'm looking directly into camera for this. I don't want to incriminate anyone. So I'm being very careful with my choice of words right now. But I have friends who have like, this is general enough that I can like say this. I've had friends who will fully be like, yo, we just robbed a store, can you come like get us? Or like friends who like are like, yo, we can't make it to this event, we're hiding out from the police in like this place. And like, just I have a bunch of these like friends who are like do a bunch of insane stuff, and then I just have like nice wholesome friends who are like, hey, you should come over and we'll like make muffins sometimes, and like we'll play like Animal Crossing or something like that. And it's just truly this like just like a constant dichotomy of how I came up versus how I've like started to be now. And like that's kind of the meaning behind the whole like fire and ice yin yang type of thing that is my logo, because it's like part of me is hang on.
So basically, what you're saying is the whole fact that before you was in that fiery situations, and now you start to become more matured in that sense, right?
I wouldn't even say more matured, but more like mellowed out. Because like there was definitely a time in my life that I think like the fire part definitely represents pretty well, where it's like if someone like even like looked at me wrong, it would like fully be a fight. Like I remember when I was in school, man, I got in so much trouble because there was this like kid who like just kind of liked annoying me. Like wasn't really a bully, but like just kind of like messing with people. And so like there was this one day where like I was just like writing or whatever, and I set my pencil down next to me, and he just like pushes it off the desk in front of me, like, yeah, you like kind of just to be like, wow, look at that, you have to go like walk over the desk and get that now, that must be so tough for you. And I just get so irrationally mad at this kid. I just like fully turn, grab the back of his head, smash it into the desk, break his nose. Like
Really?
just yeah. Just like a lot of just immediate anger. And now I think like I've calmed down, I think, but almost to an unhealthy degree, because I truly went through like so much around like that time in my life that now it's like nothing really nothing really phases me anymore. Uh SVR, I know you and I had some like plans to do a song with BMR that kind of fell through a little bit because I like disappeared off the face of the earth for a bit.
Yep.
So to anyone wondering where I've been, I've been dealing with a lot of family stuff. My like not like emotionally dealing with it, but just like having to be responsible for a bunch of new stuff now. Because like my mom like had her kidneys fail and like nearly just fully died. And so I've just been over here like, well, now I guess that means I gotta like take care of this part of the house and like do this for my sister and like be like this certain type of way and like take care of that. But the more I think about it, it's not like I'm really stressed about the actual thing that happened. It's just like, and I also think that that's bad. You know what I mean? Like, I should be stressed out about that, and I'm not. Which is where that's part of why I have like the ice thing in my logo. It's like, oh, there's a point where I can care about stuff too little too. And the combination of both of those things is where I want to be. Like, I want to be somewhere in the middle. And yeah, and like, I don't know why I've always had like this constant like back and forth, like two worlds type of thing happening to me, because it truly happens to an insane degree. Like I said, I grew up really religious, and at one point we went on like a mission trip to somewhere, and one of the girls who was there with me was like an artist, and she like came to me one night and was like, I don't know why, but like God told me to draw this as like a like kind of how we see you. And it was like a drawing of a person who was like literally had like half a halo and like one devil horn. And it was like, okay, so I've told you nothing about my music. How do you know that like I have this like half good, half bad like thing going on? Like, that's crazy. So just I've always had this weird like constant half and half thing happening for me that I feel like the name EquiNox and my whole brand kind of tries to reflect really well.
That's a good description behind your stage name. It's insane, really.
Yeah.
It is. It actually is very interesting. A very interesting, I guess, way of beginning a stage name in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in a musical sense, have you ever broken out of your comfort zone and started something new?
Kind of depends. Like, honestly, like the way I feel about it right now is like anytime I rap, I'm breaking out of my comfort zone. Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm a better producer than I am a rapper, and it's gotten to the point where like now whenever I do something with my voice, it's out of my comfort zone. But if we're talking about like just in terms of music and stuff, well, for the album that I've been working on for fucking forever, that I'm going to talk about more later, I've done like a lot of stuff that I like normally kind of wouldn't do. A lot of the stuff I normally do is kind of like 85, 95 beats per minute, like just boom bap or like boom bap inspired, like just like bar heavy rap, you know, like dense rhyme schemes, all that type of stuff. And excuse me, kind of the more experimental stuff that I've been doing on this new album is like I've been doing dubstep. I've been doing a lot of that. Like, I don't know if you guys know what vomit step is, but
is that good? Like a new genre made?
It's like a subgenre of dubstep. It's like the main instrument during the drop is like basically like a kick sample that's being like stretched really, really quickly, like back and forth, and then put through a flanger. So it sounds like a really like a wet like frog type of noise. It's one of my favorite like subgenres of EDM. So I've been I have a track that's like a really like bass heavy vomit step song on there. I've also been I have a track on there that's like a really distorted like a Scarlord NASCAR Allo type of track where I'm like I'm I'm fully like learning to like do the metal scream just to perform that track, because like it the instrumental requires that type of energy. Like there's no other way to do it. So yeah. And that is part of just how I push myself to get out of my comfort zone. Is sometimes I make a beat that requires that the delivery on it be like a certain type of way or fit into a certain type of genre, and then I have to go and like study that genre or like make sure I'm doing it justice. So, and like obviously anytime I like get super emotional on a track, it's also very much out of my comfort zone. Like I don't think I've put out that many emotional tracks. I had that in one that was like a breakup song with Retro the Emperor, if you remember.
Oh yeah,
that one. Yeah, that I think that got deleted. I kind of like re-uploaded it in like a private like little playlist that I have on my channel. But yeah, that's like the like literally just a breakup song is the most vulnerable I've ever gotten. So I've been doing a lot of verses where it's like behind the scenes, I've been writing a lot of verses where it's like
metaphors, similes, rhyme schemes.
Yeah, or like I could like just heavy storytelling, and like I could picture myself or someone listening to this like tearing up a little bit when they hear it.
Yeah, basically talking about your perspective of how it is with the whole relationship goes.
Yeah, not even relationship stuff, just like mental health and stuff like that.
Mental health, yeah. It's very vulnerable when you talk about those who have been going through a lot of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Like us ourselves men who we are mostly struggle with mental health standpoint.
Yeah, I mean I think everyone struggles to a degree. Like I think I do truly think like everyone should try to go to therapy at some point. Like whether or not you think you need it, like just talk it out with someone, see how you're doing, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely if you have someone who is close friends with, if you consider trustworthy one, definitely helps venting your emotions. Let it all
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Seventh question. Speaking about struggles and issues, there's been instance when musicians have been having issues with the fact that they haven't been really consistent with uploading music after music, and the views are always lower, and somewhat they're lazy and feel some type of way that they don't feel like they can break out in a table and whatnot, and they have some sort of issue with that. So, do you have any advice for musicians who struggle with maintaining consistency in their music?
Man, I might be the worst person to ask that question. I'll be real. I guess like my main like literally the thing that would help me is like don't have a life outside of music. Like just focus on music. But that like if that's not realistic for your situation, then I guess like I would say if I had to like give myself advice as someone who struggles with consistency a lot, I mean, a lot of it is like out of my control, but if I had to give myself advice, it would be like focus on just one thing at once. Cause like I have ADHD. It's hard for me to do that. And like I have a lot of ideas constantly that all like keep like growing in size and like levels of creativity. Like I haven't even finished like producing the full track list for my first album, and I'm already thinking of like like sound design ideas and like production and theming and stuff for the next two. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to give myself advice, it would be literally like, just focus on what you're trying to get done right now and do that well, and then focus on whatever comes next. Am I going to follow my own advice? I don't think so, but that would be the advice that I had to give to other artists.
Okay. I mean, focus on one thing all in once. Okay. I mean, that's worth it because you can focus all the things. They're just like, yeah, it feels out of a place.
Yeah, or maybe to phrase it better, like, don't stretch yourself too thin, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is, like, what do you think about like mumble rappers? What do you think of them?
Current state of
That is
mumble rap.
Yeah, that is a good question because, like, I don't know if anyone else like really went through this, but I know I definitely had a weird like cringy phase in like high school where I was like, oh, rap music is like so dead and like it's boring now, and like these like mumble rap is so bad. I really love like the lyrical miracle spiritual individual type of rap. Like, the only like real good rap is like if you rap really fast, you know what I mean? Like, I had that whole like phase in like 8th grade, and part of that did come because like growing up, one of my best friends, his favorite rapper was Chino XL, and mine was Tech Nine, and we just argue back and forth over like who had like the better lyricism, who had the best punchlines, and then like kind of getting into like high school and hearing people like playing like Lil Pump and things like that. It was like, man, I don't get it, you know, like I don't get what the appeal is. But kind of as I've gotten more into like music and production and stuff, I think I don't hate the like actual like, I would say, genre of mumble rap, because like there's a time and a place for almost every style of music. Like, I have a song coming out with that dude Shiesty LKD, where like the hook for it is like, I would define what I did on that hook as almost a mumble rap. Like, you can tell what I'm saying, but it's like a very like, the hook is very like just slow and melodic, kind of just like, bitches, they know where I stand. Ain't ever taken one, ain't in the plan. Want to do damage, you aim for your mans. You taking a glance and I'm taking your bands. Like, that type of like catchy, simple thing, but just for the hook. And that's what I'm talking about when I say like there's a time and place for everything, because like that's what I do for the hook, because I want it to be simple, catch people's ears, like kind of complement the beat. But then when I get into the actual verse, I'm spitting like, and you wouldn't get it. How the shit feels to fall off when you ain't begin yet. The kid born with Lucifer in him. So starting with me is a losing condition. Doing so much more than bruising a bitch. If the tool get to click and you think you the pinnacle, get on a mic and I'm proving the difference. Like that super like dense lyrical, like it's gotta contrast each other. You know what I mean? Like, if the hook was that like lyrically dense, then the verse wouldn't stand out as much. And if the verse like lowered to be the same energy level as the hook, then the entire back half of the song would seem like it lost energy. So it's a time and a place for everything. I like, me personally, I prefer listening to dudes like Tech Nine, Big Pun, MF Doom, Method Man, like the greats of like rhyme schemes, like I would say like that group that I mentioned, plus like Tech Nine, Big Pun, Method Man, MF Doom. Then I'd say like
Okay.
Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar. Like I would say that's like the top 6 of all time, period. So yeah, like that's what I prefer. But just as long as people are doing something interesting with their music, I guess I don't have a problem with it. Like dudes like Lil Xan, who just kind of like did the same thing for like 8 years, or like people like that. It's like at that point I can kind of get it, because they haven't like grown or changed as artists. They've just kind of like stayed on the same wave the entire time. But yeah, that, I guess that's my answer, is like I don't necessarily have a problem with it as long as they keep it interesting.
I mean, the term mumble rap has kind of been cliche for almost like a decade, if you think about it. Because, like, why would you call mumble rap in the first place? Like, okay, so for example, like someone says bunch of nonsense. Do you think it fits with the topic of the song? Not per se like that. Mumble rap is like you mumble jumble, basically like you stumble your words.
Mm-hmm.
The way how I look at it, in my opinion, is most of the time that people say a bunch of nonsensical stuff are those who brag about things that are a bunch of nonsensical stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah. What about Jelani? Do you have an opinion on mumble rap, or?
Well, I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to it because it's not really anything that I really care about or anything like that. I mean, I have listened to criticisms about it. Like I've listened to a lot of critics, music critics, when they talk about it and everything. And I remember as a kid, like I remember I listened to this one critic called the Rap Critic. Don't know if you guys have heard about him before, but
I have heard that. Yeah.
yeah, he used to have this series called Worst Lyrics I would watch all the time. I mean, as a kid, I remember like I cared a bit more about it as a kid now than I do now. Like I don't really pay too much attention to it because I mean I don't really listen to like rap all too much. Like I don't really. I more listen to instrumentals more than lyrical songs, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's
to me.
fair.
Hey, to each on their own. I mean, if you care about beats and lyrics, hey man, that's on you.
Yeah.
But we know that lyrics are very important contribution to music while we put our voices over the production.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it adds like, a lot of dynamic to it.
Yeah. And I feel like the term mumble rap at one point just became like kind of a way to describe, like, I would say like ignorant artists. Like people were calling like Tekashi 6ix9ine mumble rap, and it's like, okay, you might not like the music, but he's definitely not mumbling. Like he's doing the exact opposite of mumbling. He's screaming every syllable into the microphone as loud as possible. And if you like it, good for you. I don't, but I also wouldn't classify it as mumble rap. You're just calling it mumble rap because you think that like any artist kind of being ignorant with what they're saying is mumble rap,
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward to 9th question. How do you balance your creative output, your creativity based on your music with, business deals, like, how you put a lot of money into your creativity?
Are you asking how I'm able to like support myself to continue doing music
financially? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so part of being a producer is just that it pays for itself. Like if I can like make a beat with like free software or like stuff that I've designed, and if I just like make it well enough, then people pay me for that, you know? Uh like I started doing beats on like the free version of FL Studio where you couldn't like save anything or like reopen your project files or anything like that. And I got like one or two like I got people to pay me a couple of times like just off of those beats where I'm just like, okay, so I just have like the track out and an MP3, but I'm good at like the instrumentation part of it, you know? Like it's all just like music composition. So that part kind of pays for itself. I also like on the side I work as like I'm like a full-on chef in like a kind of fancy restaurant. It's like a tavern in Seattle. And so yeah, that pays really well because when you get like up to that level and like fine dining, then they they give you more money because you're good at what you do. And like I've even apart from like doing music, because I did like one or two like music production classes in high school and I didn't enjoy them. So like the idea of going to like college for music never really appealed to me. But who know, I might go to college for like food stuff because that I also enjoy doing that and something I'm really good at. And me and I mentioned him earlier, Raiden from Raiden's Realm. That it's like a gaming channel on YouTube. That's why I keep mentioning it like that. But Raiden from Raiden's Realm, me and him were talking, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I just keep producing beats and like making meals for people. Either way you look at it, I stay cooking." So, you know, basically, I pay for everything by cooking. However you want to take that, that's yeah. And like I'm definitely going to be pushing my production and like beats for people to like buy a lot more cuz I'm about to like fully move out of where I am right now into an apartment with a bunch of my friends uh in honestly in 2 days. Like my my last day at the job that I currently work at is today. That's why I have to go in just a couple of hours cuz like I have yeah. So like big life change happening right now. Money is definitely going to get a little tighter, but you know, the next job I have that I'm going to be going into should be even better. And yeah, you know, just yeah.
I wish you good luck there, man. Hopefully it does go well.
Yeah, I wish you
Yeah.
good luck as well. I wish you good luck as well, which leads up to the final question. What is next for you musically? Do you have any upcoming projects or any tours planned?
I, in fact, do. I printed out a piece of paper because I had to figure out what I can and can't actually say about what I'm working on for music. Uh, so, like I said earlier, I have that song. It's called Stand, and it's with Shicey LKD, one of my favorite people that I've ever worked with. That dude is like a brother to me. Uh, SVR, you've actually heard him before. He was the person I did the back and forth with on the Eviction Cipher
Yes.
all those years ago. So, like,
Yes.
we haven't actually done a song together before, like, since then. there was a point in time where we were like, oh man, we're such good friends. We're going to do like a whole album together and it's going to be a whole thing. That never happens. YouTube musicians who are watching me right now, if you have a really good friend and you guys on a whim decide, hey, let's make an album together, there is a 90% chance that's not going to happen. Like, that's so much work and energy. And you, like, especially as a producer, like, we just operate on two different, like, wavelengths. Like, his, like, the way that he raps and, like, does most of his stuff is, like, all of the, like, tempos and vibes that I'm not comfortable with. And all of the stuff that I do, like the old school boom bap stuff, is like stuff that he's not comfortable with. So like unless you guys are on the exact same wavelength, a collab album is nearly impossible to get done. But yeah, finally did a song together. He actually helped produce it too. Like, it's first song he's ever produced. Very proud of him for that. So yeah, Stand with Shiesty LKD is coming out as soon as I can get it mixed. Like I said, I'm producing for more people. So honestly, if anyone watching this wants to pay me for a beat, then, you know, I can do that. I don't know if you've heard of the rapper Manzy, Manzy, Manzy.
Yeah, I think it's another person from Eviction Cypher,
right? No. He you might have seen him around Instagram. He does like a lot of like NF style songs. I can send you some of the stuff. He's really good.
Yeah.
But he did kind of like a rap contest to get on one of his like remixes for his album that just came out recently. So, you know, I'm going to be doing a little something for that, because he did the contest like a few months ago, and I won the contest. So, you know, we're going to be working on a little something together there. I offered. I've been talking to him about it recently because we're just getting kind of like the final things down on the mix. And I like fully offered like, hey man, I'm down to shoot a music video on my end here for that. So we'll see if that turns into anything. And if not, then I still have a dope verse that's going to be out there on like a dude with like 3.5K monthly listeners. So, you know, that's going to be big. Okay, here's the thing that I had to like write down that I wasn't sure how much I was going to be able to talk about. So on top of the album that I'm working on and the two that I've kind of figuring out the concept on, I have an EP on the way that will probably be out by the end of the year, if I'm lucky. And without going into too many details about it, because like I can't. I wish I could. I would love to. I can't go into too many details about this. But I will say it's a bunch of like different styles, different genres, a lot of opportunities for like different vocal delivery, which is fun. I've been doing a lot of like sampling really specific soundtracks, and like all different levels of sampling too, like going from like just fully taking like the MP3 and like throwing that into FL Studio to like remaking the entire thing I'm trying to sample from scratch. And this is like the big piece of news. And please remember, anyone watching, please remember what I just said about like this, I guess, genre of artistic endeavor. But this one is actually a collaboration EP with another artist. about a, I guess you would call it a hyperfixation that we share. So that's really fun. I've had a lot of fun working with that artist. Yeah, you'll hear more about it as it like happens, obviously. But right now we're in the stage where like it's for sure happening. We just don't have all the details locked down, so I can't talk about it much. But it is very fun.
What about like
And
the tours? Like, have you ever been like doing tours for other artists, like the popular artists like Tech9 and all that? Have you ever done that?
yeah, well, I know that like you and me were just talking about the dude KT Kraka, who has rebranded into being Kyren. He opened up for Chris Calico and Vin J recently, and so when Chris Calico and Vin J come back, I was gonna, because he basically just like hit him up and was like, "Yo, do you need an opener for your Seattle show?" And they were like, "Yeah." So next time they're coming to town, uh I'm definitely hitting them up for that, because like by then I'll also probably have a couple more songs out that are good to play in like big fucking like theater settings. Um and then there's another artist who you honestly probably haven't heard of, but her name is Damage, and the E at the very end is a 3. But Damage, if anyone wants to go look her up, she is doing a tour right now. I'm going to see her in about a week, and next time she comes to Seattle, I definitely want to open for her too, because we have like a lot of musical stuff in common. So I feel like her audience would really, like, I would vibe with her audience because I am part of her audience. So like, you know, uh, yeah. But as far as like tours go, that's where I'm at with that. Like I'm looking, like I'm waiting for people to come back to Seattle so I can open for them. A lot of rappers actually seem to be scared of Seattle. Like a bunch of people have like fully just canceled their shows here. And on one hand I get it, because it's not the safest city ever. People are truly crazy here. But at the same time it has a great music scene. Like Seattle is like famous for some of the musicians that have come out of it. Like Nirvana is from the Seattle area. Like we're good at music. So like musicians come to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then I also have a little bit of an update about my own personal album that I've been working on forever. And I'm kind of gonna let you in on a little bit of some of the secrets when it comes to like who's going to be featuring on it and stuff. So it's currently kind of in another reworking stage right now. This album has been a nightmare because it started out as like a 4-track mixtape, right? Just like look, these are 4 funky little songs I'm going to put out there. And like it was originally inspired by like the movie Joker, if you've seen that, like that scene where he like walks out onto the stage and just like all the music's like blasting, and it's like, oh, we're introducing this really dangerous person to a setting where maybe he shouldn't be. I loved that like aesthetic and setting, so I based like the original draft of the album around that. And then it started turning into like a full concept album about like life and mental health and like just the idea of being someone who was like constantly putting himself out into like the public eye, I guess. And so from there it started turning into like my main inspiration started becoming like analog horror on YouTube, or like found footage movies, or like the movie The Truman Show. And like the concept of the album at one point, it's not what it is anymore, but at one point it was like, oh, all of these songs are like so different because like in life right now I'm like jumping from like big loud crazy experience to big loud crazy experience because I don't want to like pay attention to the in between times, which are like the static when the channel changes. Because like when it gets to like the static part, then I'm really just like kind of left alone with my thoughts, and that's never good. But then I saw this movie called I Saw the TV Glow. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of or seen that movie, but man, I saw that movie and I like the credits rolled and I was literally just like, fuck, I have to rewrite this album now, because like it's a truly like haunting experience that uses like it's not exactly similar to what I did, but like it like uses like the idea of being someone like kind of trapped in a, maybe not necessarily like a TV show, but like kind of like being a character who isn't your true self and is like trapped behind like, I guess like almost like the fourth wall. It's really tough to explain, but it, yeah. Uh so I saw that and I was like, fuck, I have to rewrite this album now. Uh and so now I've like kind of reworked what the meaning behind like the static in a lot of the tracks is. And I'm planning, like, I still have a bunch of different production styles on there, some of the best, like biggest production that I've ever done. And I'm just gonna, my plan is to like just have the whole album just be like slowly degrading as it goes along. So, you know, we'll see how that turns out. But the reason it's taking so long is because I'm doing this like as big and professional as possible. So like I'm renting out like video shoot locations, like I'm buying like full like wardrobes for it. I'm like hiring and paying people to do like hair and makeup and like lighting and all that. Like I'm I'm probably, I know for sure that there's 2 videos that I'm shooting like for the album. But after that, I'm doing another song with, or I'm gonna try to do another song with Shiesty on the album. And if he wants me to fly down to California and shoot a video for that, then I'm gonna have to do that. Like, which I'm fine with because that dude is like cool. Like we're so chill that I would do that in a heartbeat. But also like that adds more time to everything. And then like I'm gonna be putting out like at least one single before the album drops, and I might like have to do a video for that. So that's a whole other like post production nightmare. And then I've had to change around the features a little bit. Like originally I had like I don't know if you know like King Blitz or
Yes, I know who King Blitz is.
yeah, I had King Blitz and I had King Blitz on there, and then he didn't really like get the concept of the song. So I'm just like, okay, maybe I don't want you on here. You know what I mean? Uh but I already have back a verse from Samad Savage. I'm still working stuff out with Lex Bratcher. It's crazy working with those two, man, because
Having
like
both on the same track is a whole. It's gonna be something that will blow everyone's mind. Be like, wow, EquiNox, how the hell did you get Samar Savage and Lex Bratcher in the same goddamn track?
yeah, I mean they're so good on tracks together.
Yes.
Like doing one with like throwing me into the mix is gonna be like crazy. Like I'm trying so hard to match their level, man. They're so good at what
to match
they do.
their energy and their style.
Yeah, exactly. So those are kind of like the big ones. But then the other one that I think I've talked about before is do you know Dead Boy Kez?
Dead Boy Kez. Is it a Northcore artist?
Kinda. He works with like Shofu and Peso Pete and all them on like the Pokemon ciphers. If you've ever watched those.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's the dude. He's one of the dudes who like he's kind of like a skinny white dude who yells a lot. Yeah, no, he's really good at music though. He's been doing like a lot of like modern jazz type of stuff recently. So, yeah, that's cool. But I have a verse from him that I was gonna put on like that whole like distorted like Scarlord type of song. But then when I thought about the song more, I was like I changed the concept of what the song is. So now his verse doesn't make as much sense anymore. So I'm gonna go back and be like, hey man, whatever we gotta work out to get you back on this verse and how it makes sense. Like let's just figure something out again. Cause I know it's something that he's going to want to like rap about. Like it's kind of an important topic. And I'm gonna be throwing him back on the track along with Damage, that artist. I talked about her earlier, like wanting to open for her. So those two are gonna be on it. And then yeah, like the track with some Mod and Lex, I had a whole list of people who were gonna be on it at one point, and then like some of us just like fell out of touch, or like some of them stopped doing music. So I'm still looking for like interesting people to throw on that lineup. Like I've been talking to like Bard. I've been thinking about like reaching out to someone like Chris Calico, to like one of my favorite artists of all time, which would be crazy. But yeah, it's probably just gonna be me and like a couple like close friends on it. But that's kind of like the big draw of the album, is that song. But hey, that's the update. That's where I'm at with this album.
That is awesome to hear that, man. All right. I mean, that was it, folks. EquiNox, if you have anything to say towards the outro, would you be able to do so?
For the outro?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, do you want me to just like fully end out the whole thing, or?
We go for each individual. You, Jelani, and myself.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so my name is EquiNox. You can find me at most places at EquiNox__ music. There's 2 underscores. Someone else already had EquiNox_ music, and they haven't posted since 2016, which is really annoying. But you know, the 2 underscores kind of works with my whole like 2 division thing. Yeah, that's why I do it. Not because some annoying person who has, yeah. Anyways, I'm there. You can find me there most places. Yeah. Hit me up on Instagram if you want a beat or a feature. It costs money, but not a lot. And you know, go honestly, go check out all of the artists that I've mentioned throughout this entire thing. I'll run through a list again. NEB, Tommy Guns, Shiesty LKD, Raiden's Realm on YouTube. It's not an artist, it's a gaming channel. If you want to watch funny gaming moments, he's there. Bard, C2M, two other people I forgot to shout out, Zay and Mr. Pancake Man. I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Pancake Man. A lot of people think I'm him. I'm not. No, like seriously, I just dropped a track recently that Jelani, SVR specifically asked me not to talk about like any like diss drama or anything like that. So I'm just gonna say I dropped a diss track recently because I got into some drama, or I got pulled into some drama, and the person, like, I dropped my own diss track, but I also produced some like the Pantheon's response to that person as well. And when that person heard it, they heard like Mr. Pancake's Man verse and was like, yo, is that EquiNox? And it's like, no, that's someone else. What do you mean? Like, that doesn't sound like me. And so then I showed it to Raiden from Raiden's Realm on YouTube. And I showed him the track like that I produced, and he like got to Mr. Pancake's Man's verse, and he was like, yo, EquiNox, is that you? And I'm like, bro, you've known me for 5 years. How is that me? That does not sound like me. You can put this in like the title. EquiNox clears up the rumors. I'm not Mr. Pancake Man.
Oh, I gotta listen to Mr. Pancake Man now to see
that dude's
confused.
You know what? I like Mr. Pancake Man. He's funny. Like the diss track he did, he said the dude looked like Bob the Builder walked into a Hollister. That's a crazy funny line. Like, but no, that's not me. If you just look at me right now and then go to, I think it's Mr. Pancake Man on Instagram, and I'm pulling it up right now. Pulling it up.
All right.
Okay, it's Home Guy Chris. I don't know if you can see that. That's Mr. Pancake Man.
Why does it look like Claudeca?
He does. This is me. I'm not him. We're different people. We're different people. Do you understand me? Okay. Good. Like I'm glad I cleared that up.
I feel like there's going to be a conspiracy theory about this.
There is. There for sure is. I was going to like fully make a YouTube video I still might, but just like make it look like one of those like influencer apology videos, like just blank wall, me staring at the camera, just addressing the rumors, period. And then just have a whole video where I'm just going, I'm not fucking Pancake Man. But he's cool though. Go shout out to him. He does like a lot of like indie melodic stuff. It's cool. He's funny when he raps.
Jelani, it's your turn.
I will say is this. Reach the top.
Like usual. Thank you guys for watching this podcast. If you guys want to, go ahead and show EquiNox some love, he deserves it, link in the description below. Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Every platform will be in the description below. Like, you can find him from there. And go listen to his music. He deserves it. Is that the better word that I could say, the least?
Yeah, that's better, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I will see you guys in the next episode of the SVR SVR Podcast. With someone who I will be interviewing for the next Friday at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern European time. You never know who it is, whether it's a musician, a comedian, an actor. Everyone is welcome aboard to the podcast, man. By any means. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Later, goodbye, ciao.